But I didn't really tell the criminals a lot about my chest and things like that. I didn't really want sympathy from them. It's like everybody has their problems, everybody has things that kind of hold them back a little bit, but you know, you just have to take it and get on with it. There's not really much you can do to change what you're given. I was taught when you're younger, you just play the hand that was dealt to you. Like, don't hate the world for something that you can't change, because you can't.
Right.
But no, so like I've always been taught to take something with two hands when you have a chance and get through it as best you can. And like I feel like I took up a brilliant opportunity coming here, and I feel like I'm going to go back to my dance school full of new ideas and speaking part French to the English, because they will be heavily confused, I think. So I was born with a heart defect. It's called AVSD. Don't ask me to say the full name, I can never remember it, but if you type in AVSD to Google, I'm sure it would come up.
Yeah.
I was born missing my mitral valve completely, and I had 4 holes in my heart wall. I was actually undiagnosed for quite a long time as a baby. I was forever screaming and forever, I never ate, I never slept, and I was a horror baby for my family for like 5 months, until somebody decided to believe my mum eventually. My mum went through quite a lot, bless her really. She had a doctor tell her that I was spoilt and to lock me in a room and to just let her get on with it.
Wow.
But my mum said she did it for an hour and she couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
But no, a friend that worked in an A&E believed my mum and said there was something wrong. If you come to A&E, I'll push you through the queue, just don't say you know me, because obviously she'd get into trouble. But this was Basildon in Essex, and they said there is something wrong with this little girl, but we don't have the equipment here to be able to find out what it is. So they put me on an ambulance and transferred me to Great Ormond Street in London Children's Hospital. And within, I think my mum said, about an hour and a half of being there, they did a scan and went, there's your problems, right there on the screen. But I think it was a big relief for my mum to find out that she wasn't crazy, that there was something wrong. By this time I was actually quite ill. I was pretty much heading for death's door because it was so long. I was about 6 months by then. I was quite a rare case for Great Ormond Street. They hadn't had a case with kind of both things of, when I say normal child, like most people who have what I have normally have Down syndrome. So they were quite confused why I had it and yet I didn't have Down syndrome, which kind of steered them away from, don't think she's got that sort of thing. Apparently they had finished just hooking me up to all the machines and my body couldn't cope and just went straight into heart failure. So they unplugged me and straight away took me back down and said, like, the only other choice is a metal valve and to put silver patches over the holes in the heart wall. They said she will live with it, it just causes some problems and she'll be on medication for pretty much all of her life, but it can be controlled, which to my mum at least I was alive and my family were more than willing to do that.
Right.
As I grew up, I was never told that I couldn't do something. I mean, my mum would have wrapped me in cotton wool if she could have, like most mums would, but no, my dad always said to me, don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something. Like, the only person who knows what you can and can't do is you. I've had my fair share of sports. At age 5 I was doing karate, and I was quite gifted at karate. I was a little white belt, I was quite small, and I used to go in and fight with blue belts and win as a white belt. Wow. But after a couple of years I kind of gave it up because I was too frightened to go out and do the gradings, so I gave that up.
So watch out, fellas, that are trying to pull a move on you, right?
Yeah. But no, I did football in school, I did rounders in school, I was on the basketball team at school, and my favourite sport that I still regret having to give up because I was going to college was I was an ice hockey player.
Really?
For about 3 years.
Wow.
I used to play at the Romford ice rink. I was on the young Romford girls team and was actually in line to be an England player. If I look at it another way, I found dance.
Yeah.
I think the first dance inspiration was probably the cliche of Michael Jackson straight away, just that he pulled off some really cool moves and they were pretty fun to watch, and they were quite a challenge to learn them yourself. But as I grew older, the group Diversity, which are at the school I'm at now, they entered and won Britain's Got Talent, and they sort of became my main inspiration for a while. That they were a big group of just friends, and they did so well together, and like kind of wanted to be like them because they were so tight knit and friendly together, and it was really, really nice to watch. And in the last 2 years, I kind of discovered the Twins and Criminalz Crew through that as well. The Twins were mainly Larry and Laurent. Was because they were pulling off moves that I had never ever seen before, and they were kind of something fresh to look at, and it was something like when you sit back as if, oh my god, how can they do that sort of thing. I need to learn how to do that. I won't lie, it is hard, it is very, very hard. If you don't train, then you don't really get anywhere at all. But the Criminalz, they were pretty much the same as the Twins for me. They're all amazingly talented, and they're all such class dancers that they've all got their own little spin on something, and it's been a privilege to be able to learn from them this week. I feel like I've learned so much from them this week.